Welcome back to the Padilla Family Homestead. Today we are doing some kitchen projects. There's a lot of little things when you do a primarily from scratch kitchen that need to be done and that help you save money. The first thing that we're going to do is deal with this celery. So when I went into Aiken's the other day, they had this organic celery for like $1 something, which is a really good price. And so I bought 3 bundles of it. One of it went pretty much into soup, but the other 2 I need to freeze. So what I'm going to do first is I cut the ends off so I can get into all of this insides, and I'm going to go ahead and rinse all of this off and then bring it back over here, and then we will deal with it. So I have some quart-sized freezer bags here that we'll use, and the first thing I'm going to do is pull all these center heart pieces. Now these are yellow not because they're going bad, but because they were in the center of the celery stick, and so they weren't getting sunshine, so they didn't turn green. Plants, a lot of times when we buy them in the store, are not like when they grow. So these have a lot more of the leaves on top. But you could see where they chopped right here, there was way more of these leaves. These leaves go bad and rot way faster than the celery stalks would. And so that's why most of the time when we buy celery in the store, it doesn't have the leafy part on it. Now, for the most part, I don't use the leafy part in my regular cooking. I'm just going to grab anything with a leafy part, really. And I don't usually use that in my cooking, and so what I'm going to do, because if I was growing it, I would probably dry it and turn it into a celery salt, which is a very normal part of celery salt is using. That's what a lot of places do because they know it's going to go bad. They'll use that for the tops for the celery salt, and then sell the bottom actual celery stalks for people to consume. And so in this case, I'm not going to do that. However, what I am going to do is these are just fine for broth. And so anything that's this yellowier or has all the leaves, I'm putting in a bag, and this would be great for the next bone broth that I end up making, and it's not going to waste this way. Freezing it allows me to do it whenever I want to make it. I don't have to make broth while I have the celery fresh. Alright, so those are all the leafy green bits. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to do is kind of cut off my ends on all of these. And if they look kind of rotten like this one does, it's very brown, I'm going to put it off to the side. But otherwise, these ends also can be used for stock because they are just dried up pieces, but they still have nutrients in them. And depending on how many I have will depend on, I already cut that one. Depending on how many I have will depend on if I put them in the bag with the leafy greens or not. That looks pretty yuck. But these look okay. So I am just going to shove these in here. With this, the great thing about broth is it doesn't have to be pretty. You just don't want it rotten. Okay. So this bag I'm going to go ahead and just pop in the freezer now. So the rest of this, anytime I make stir fries or soups or whatever else, a lot of times I like to add in celery. I like onions, celery, and carrots, the trio, right? And so what I'm going to go ahead and do is just pre-chop this. And I could take these out in handfuls and pop them in to whatever dish I'm going to be making, and it will be great. I can also add these into broth if I wanted to use them up if I hadn't used them. The thing is, getting something on sale is a great deal, and it's a great benefit for the house. However, if you don't use it, it's then a waste of money anyway, no matter if it was on sale or not. And I have been guilty of buying things with the best of intentions and never using them, or stuff's coming in from the garden and I don't end up using it. And so that is a waste of work, of time, of all the things. And so what I have been trying to do is to make sure that I'm utilizing what I have, even if that means I'm putting it up for later. There's a few of these that I'm going to take and I'm going to actually make some peanut butter sticks with, because that sounds really good right now. Probably turn them into ants on a log, because that also sounds really good. So that's what I'm going to fresh eat. And then the rest of this, I'm going to go ahead and get chopping. I'm going to pop this in the freezer the way it is, and then put it in bags in a little bit. That's a lot of celery. Ooh, I need to mix up another peanut butter. Goodness gracious, I'm making a mess out of this first one. Hopefully they get better. We used to make these when I was younger, and we would take the celery with the peanut butter on it, and then we would put the raisins, and then we would take some shredded carrot and put it on top and wrap it in a leaf of lettuce, and it was a walking salad instead of ants on the log. So there's all different variations of this that you can do. But when you have something in your house, trying to utilize it fresh and preserving it is always a good idea. This year I'm growing my first celery, and it's not as big as I was hoping it would be. I think it needed to be started way earlier. Now the leaves are big, but the stalks are very, very skinny. Now one of them I think is supposed to be skinny, and that's the Chinese pink celery. But I'm growing a green celery, and I thought that was supposed to be pretty normal. But I might be wrong. Go wash my hands. Alright, so we're just going to put a few raisins in. The raisins just really add the sweetness. The celery is the fresh crunch, and the peanut butter is that savory and sticky texture. Savory, salty. I would love to know what your favorite versions of Ants on a Log or Walking Salads are. Is this how you make it, or do you do something different? Every family, every area kind of has their own variations of things, which I think are fun to get to know. Ooh, I need 2 more raisins. Sticky mess. That's a good snack. No, honestly, this isn't even a snack. It's really my lunch because I haven't even had breakfast and it's lunchtime. So I have these crackers from the other day that I put in the freezer and I haven't done anything with them. I need to pop them into a freezer bag and then we will test them another day. I'm not testing them today. We are going to have some soup today. So I'm taking out one of these packages of the focaccia that I made. It's the basic recipe with the rosemary and garlic and all that goodness. Alright, so the next project I have to do, I wish I had a smaller jar for, but I don't. Is I'm going to take my calendula flowers that I have dried and I'm going to pop them into this jar, and I'm only going to do a little bit of this because my calendula plants are dying and they're being really eaten by caterpillars. Normally I would want this at least halfway full, but I don't have that, so a smaller jar would have been great. Oh, actually, I am going to do something smaller. I'm going to use this Tupperware. I don't normally do that, but that's better. I would rather save my jar. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my dry calendula. I'm going to pour my avocado oil over this. You can use olive oil, whatever oil you want to use for salves. I like the avocado oil for like everything. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure they're totally coated. Kind of is a pretty looking jar. And I'm going to stick this on the shelf to steep for like 6 weeks. I'm checking in on this one. This is my comfrey, which looks really good, I think. It's very green. So this one's been going for a few weeks. We still have a little bit longer before I make a salve out of that. So the next project we're going to do is, I did a short the other day on saving marigold seeds, because my marigolds have been crazy. Oh, this one doesn't actually look like they're super valuable. So I have some sitting on a plate right here that have been drying out. I have a couple more that I saved seeds from. The marigolds are huge this year. Part of it might be the variety I planted this year. Part of it is, I think the area, everybody here is having huge marigolds. And so I really want to save the seeds because they seem to have been acclimated extremely well. So all I do is I'm pinching kind of at the top right here, and I'm making sure that I'm not pulling out the seeds. I'm just taking off the petals. And then basically I look for stems that are really brown. I'll pop a picture in right here of stems that are green next to one that's dead and brown, which happens to be these two that I picked today. And then I'm gonna peel open, here, come closer for you guys. I'm gonna peel open the outside of this, and these little gray and white little spears right here, these are marigold seeds. So this whole thing is full of them. So I'm going to go ahead and pop these out. These look really good. That is hundreds of seeds right there. At least 100. And I'm going to save another one. Go ahead and pop this open. I wanted to make sure a few that I didn't catch I went ahead and harvested for seeds. Now I'm going to try to be on top of them and picking them when they're young, because I saw this project that looks like tons of fun to do. So I'm going to try it out today too. So these are all marigold seeds. How cool is that? The next one I'm going to look at are some dried up, fizzled up calendula. And I'm going to see if I can find any viable seeds in these. And if I find any viable seeds, then I will show you. But that might be a big if right now. That might be one. I don't know if these are really viable. They look too, I see a couple, but they look too small. Calendula seeds are kind of a hook. Let's see if I can get it to pop up on my finger here. So they kind of loop, but they're usually bigger than this, and these feel very soft, actually. I really don't think these are good, so I'm not even going to save them. They're very soft. That's unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. I was really hoping to be able to save some calendula seeds, but there's always next time. So I'm going to let these dry out for another day or so, and they should be dry, but I just want to make sure. And then I'll put these in a little container. Okay, so the next marigold project that I saw that looks super fun, I'm going to cut a big string for, because I'm hopefully going to add things to this and let them dry out. So I'm going to cut and tie a loop here so I have something to hang on this side. And then I'm going to take a big old yarn needle, and I'm going to take this fabric cottony twine and feed it through. So I have a loop on the bottom, and then I have my needle on this side. And I'm going to go ahead and cut these down more. So this is the stem, and I cut off up to here, and you can see it's a big hollow spot right there. And this is kind of what it leads into. It's this little concave right there. So the goal is to take this, and we'll see if I can do it without totally tearing this apart. Feed this marigold. Ooh, that needle might be too big. Oh, I split it. Oh, that's unfortunate. That may not work. Let's see a bigger one. Because this hits pretty far in. Oh, that worked. I just need a bigger flower head. Next time I take this down and stop it there. And we'll see. These might not be big enough for what I'm trying to do. This needle might be way too big. Yeah, that just split it again. Darn it. Okay, this one looks bigger. Part of this might be the age of the flower too, because some of these already have seeds that look like they're forming. And I feel like you need to be getting in them when they're younger. Yeah, that one just split. I think that's what it is. So you can see on both of these flowers where their seeds are forming on the inside. And I think these are too far. Try this last one. I'm not going to try this one because I think it's too far. That one worked. So this was a younger flower. And I'm going to create a Marigold Garland. So I'm going to go ahead and let this dry. And as I pick more each day as they open, I'll just keep feeding them onto here and letting them dry. And then this fall, I'll have a cool Marigold dried garland. Something different, something fun, a different way to add beauty. We'll see if I like this. I mean, the last thing we're going to do is go through the cherry tomatoes. I have some that I picked green that have just been ripening because my plants had died, and I went ahead and I pulled them out. I don't have, the only plant I still have is one of my berries, crazy cherries, and it's showing signs of disease today. So that makes me super sad. It was not a good slicer year at all, which was unfortunate. I only got a couple of slicer tomatoes. Like these, I don't think these are going to end up turning, but they're in here, and we'll see. But these berries, crazy. Some of these are getting older. The sakuras are still looking halfway decent here, some of them. So I want to get these in here, get all the greens off, and I'm going to go ahead and rinse them off and decide what I'm freezing, because we like to add these and let them pop in our sauteed vegetables and on top of our focaccia breads and all the things. And I do pick and I eat these fresh. I snack on them. But we have had quite a lot start to come in, and I have more than this. I have a few sitting here, so I'll keep getting yellows. I'm not going to keep getting reds, but I want to go ahead and rinse these and freeze some of these, because some of these are starting to get older. The last few years I have attempted to do the Every Bit Counts challenge, and I really suggest doing it if you can. This year I decided to not add that to myself. I was dealing with the foot injury. We got sick. We have a lot of stuff going on. It is crazy at work, and I decided this year to take a break from that challenge. It doesn't mean I don't try to do every little bit that I can. And so I just am not putting that pressure on myself. Those yellow tomatoes are so good. So I just dry them off a little bit, and I'm going to put these super ripe berries crazies in here for sure. Yeah, some of these are like ready to pop. These are so sweet. Okay, so I'm going to put all those in, and then I'm going to add in some of these darker Sakuras where I feel like they might go bad faster. And then I'm going to save the rest of these for adding to dishes. So this I'm going to go ahead and pop in the freezer as well. So the rest of these red ones will come back into this little container. I'm also going to put in my freshly picked berries crazy over the last couple of days. And I have a couple of these that came off that wild tomato behind the okra, and most of them have not done well, but I have these that are going to come in here. These are the last of my slicers that I picked very young, hoping that they were going to turn, and most of them have started to turn, and this one has not yet. Oh, I have two more over here. So this is what I got pretty much. And then, oh, I have one more little one that, again, I don't know if this is going to turn. The other thing you can slice and freeze if you're not going to use them up is you can slice and freeze your okra and your, this is a jalapeno, so any peppers. I did it with my banana peppers before. These are my habanadas, the not hot habaneros. I have shishitos. These don't freeze to blister as well. I really like them blistered. So I'm probably going to go ahead and blister what I have here today, so they don't go bad. But some of these other peppers, within the next couple of days, I might chop and do a few more little baggies of stuff. And that's it for today. Those are all my little projects that I had to get done. The Garland might be fun. We'll see how that turns out. We have tons of marigold seeds we could share with our friends, which is awesome. And then got some celery put away, got a lunch out of that, took some stuff out for soup. And, oh, I should probably bag up the rest of that celery. And then we have tomatoes in the freezer. We started a calendula oil. Lots of little things, and it hasn't been that long, I don't think. So, yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed, and have fun doing the little things in the kitchen. Take some time and just knock out a few projects here and there, and you will catch up. That's what I keep telling myself. So we'll see you back on the next video.